So, welcome back to Untold Story of Sita, another review. In this, I am dividing the whole presentation into two parts. One is the chapter that I have done and studied. Second would be a summary of whatever we have learned so far. So, I hope that would be easier for everybody to understand. Okay. So, I'm starting the screen share. Is my screen visible? Just a thumbs up.
Yes, yes.
Great. Okay. So, this time we are supposed to do chapter 7 and 8. Chapter 7 is dealing with adjusting in Ayodhya, and the chapter 8 is the death in Ayodhya. Now, these two chapters, why they are very important is because now Sita Ma, along with three, four girls, are shifted to Ayodhya. They are supposed to adjust from something that they have learned to something they have to implement, right? Say, for example, they had learned to give their 100% to a task assigned, or they have learned that with great when they are in the vicinity of Vasundhara Ma, they can perform every task better. They have learned to be the feminine energy. But when they enter Ayodhya, they find it totally different from what they have learned in their house. This is something similar to what we females are always doing. Once we are at our parents' place, we are being loved, affection is given, we are pampered, we are blessed with everything. We are pampered by our parents, specifically father and mother. We have our siblings who we can share our emotions with. We are so blessed to have our friend circle here because we can share our secrets, can share our joys, we can share our sorrows here. But when we shift into a married, after a married life, into a family, there all these responsibility fall under one person. The husband takes on the responsibility of my likes, my dislikes, my love, my sorrows, my secrets. But I am not 100% what I was before this responsibility is given to me. So this is what just not Sitama, but all the four girls who came along with her to Ayodhya were facing. Right? In this, a beautiful line was there. I wonder how we would ever find out way about it. As in that now these five females are discussing. We were free. We used to go to river. We used to visit forest. But in Ayodhya, we cannot. We are not free enough to do all these tasks. So that freedom is always something that we females lack when we have shifted a place. The second thing was in Ayodhya, they were looking at the disunity in the place. Here, disunity means like again, there every in Mithila, everything was discussed with the family. Janak Baba was taking care of everything and he was discussing with his peer group or sages or Sitama. But in Ayodhya, the environment was totally different. There was in Mithila, there was no task specific differentiation. I find that I can go and water the plants, but in Ayodhya, there was a person assigned to do that task. So this was a major shift, paradigm shift that they had seen in Ayodhya and Mithila. Okay, then there was another thing. Um, in Ayodhya, they saw that human encroachment was there. A balance must be found, she said, between the growing needs of the people and other species. So when you have a small space, you give space to yourself and to the environment also, or the surrounding also. But when your need changes into greed, people start to encourage things or they start to grab things which they really don't want. They just want to have it. This was the major difference we see in a feminine environment and a masculine environment. Okay.
Just a quick question, Neelam. Is it only one slide? Because the slides are not moving.
Yes, yes, I am not moving the slide for the time being
Okay, okay,
because I'm
great.
reading those lines that I love.
It's only the textbook cover.
It's only the textbook
Okay.
cover. Okay. And then the life in Ayodhya was far more complex. The Aryan culture is said to be prioritized by expenses on the basis of other species. So in Mithila, every organism, every tree, every leaf, every animal was given love and respect. But in Ayodhya, they saw that it is totally different. My choices were mine. I was cutting forests to build new huts, new houses. This was not the case in Mithila, and if it was there, then it was taken as a permission from Vasundharama that I am planning to do this. So that was a major difference that the people had seen there. Okay, and then there was one line that I loved the most. It is this love. Okay, uh, now Sitama had seen these differences, but why she could survive there was because Ramji loved her the most. He was respecting her, he was taking care of her needs and wants. So one person's love was sufficient enough for Sitama to hold for a while. It's not that she is saying that I'll leave that on. It says that let me give it a time for people in Ayodhya to understand my feelings so that I can adjust and they can adjust to my ways also. So this is also one kind of a love that she has shown. Okay. And in this, the lady who went with them were two major, Meenakshi and Soma. Soma specifically tells Meenakshi she will need the most care for she will be disdained and abandoned by all. When she returns to her senses, she will unforgiving. Okay, I have switched to one thing. Now, in this, Sitama, Ramji, and Lakshman are planning once they are here, there was that episode of Kekai asking for the boons. She had asked Ramji to go in exile for 14 years along with Sita and Lakshman. They planned to go along with her. And Kekai was given a blame for everything that she had done. Right? In this part also, Sita Ma is showing a love to Kekai Ma, saying that this is not what she wanted to happen, but due to bad things that were happening into Aryan areas or masculine areas, things changed for a better or a what would I call a bigger future. Right? Even this time also, Sitama had shown just love, compassion, and forgiveness. Right? So during the time they were leaving, Sitama has assigned tasks to all the four girls who were there. She had given Soma some duty, she had given Meenakshi some duty, she had given two other girls duties to take care of her sisters also. So she had been a epitome of love there. In that line, she had specifically asked Meenakshi, whose story we are reading as per the untold story of Sita. Meenakshi was assigned the task to take care of Kekaima because she says that Kekai would be more vulnerable once she learns what kind of a blunder she had done by asking Ram and Sita to go in exile. Okay. And in this, she had specifically mentioned that uh, whenever there is bad thing happening in somebody's life, good would definitely follow. So good and bad would exist together. They are not sent in exile because some petty issue. There was a bigger benefit for the complete universe. So this Sita Ma could foresee earlier. Okay, and this line also is brilliant. She says one can turn a misfortune into blessing. So whenever something bad happens to us, we just focus on to that bad thing. But that has already happened. We should not focus on to that thing. We should look at the brighter side of what is to be coming next. So this line also was beautiful. And when they left, it seemed that everybody was crying for them. So this was all about chapter 7, adjusting in Ayodhya. First, they were waiting for things to change as per their requirement. Ramji helping Sitama and all the four ladies associated with to give them freedom and space. And then departure of them, Sitama and Ramji into exile. And these four girls trying to adjust without the presence of Sitama. So this was all in chapter 7. Now, chapter 8 again is a beautiful version which has that. Now, Sitama is gone. The four girls are assigned two tasks. One, to take care of everybody in the family. Second, Sitama had given a burning diya and everybody has to chant a prayer in front of the diya for peace in Ayodhya. Now, since she's not there, she had assigned that task to all the four girls here. And when she says that whenever I go, you have to chant daily 4 times in front of the diya, which symbolizes me being present still there. I am not physically there, but you can sense my presence all the time. Okay, and in this case, beautiful things happen. Kekai Ma was she renounced eating food, and Meenakshi was always keeping food near her door so that at least she can eat. But for multiple days, months, weeks along, she was not eating. But Meenakshi was very consistent in keeping that thali in front of Kekaima's door. Eventually, after many days and weeks of waiting, Kekaima allowed Meenakshi to enter into her room, which she had to eventually clean, dress up Kekaima and things like that, which again shows that if you are very persistent into something, you would eventually achieve that also. So we should not leave a task undone. We should keep trying and doing that task. So this was another beautiful thing in chapter 8. And then there was patience and persistence was there. Okay, and there is a conversation between Suma and Meenakshi, the two females. Suma says she can feel the presence of Sita Ma whenever and wherever she wants to see, but Meenakshi had to find a source to connect to Sita Ma. So then Meenakshi's and Suma's conversation here says that if you make your mind strong enough, or if you concentrate strong enough into your energies by meditating or by any means, just focus that energy, then you can feel the presence of God near you. This was one beautiful thing. And this one line again, she's sending messages to all of us, but you haven't learned to quiet your mind and listen. So, as Sir has also said, that when the water is flowing or when the water is not stable, you cannot see your image into it. But once that water is stable, your mind is stable, you can actually see your image into that and you can converse that with that image. So that was another brilliant thing. Okay. And why I'm putting this here is again there is another line. In weeks time, this Meenakshi had a blurry vision because of her age. She had multiple medical conditions. Suma, who was taking care of her, made some medication for her eyes. With that dedication and everything, Meenakshi was able to regain her eyesight. And then she eventually asked Suma how could she make this medicine. And Suma says that it was told by Sitama to get all the herbs and make that paste to regain her eyesight. Okay. And there was very interesting thing when these five girls reach Ayodhya. After a pretty long time, they were able to take a bath in Saryu River because they were not allowed to move out of the palace. So the place where they have this bathing is the place where rest of the females of Ayodhya went and prayed to be in touch with that feminine energy Sitama. So Meenakshi was very surprised how the same place, like Saryu is a huge river, why the same place was chosen by the females of Ayodhya to play on that particular area where Sita Ma used to pray or used to have a dip or used to play with her friends. So your energies always stay. It is just that you have to read those energies. That is something mind blowing given in this particular book. So why there was this question that I asked, why are temples built at some particular places? God is omnipresent. So why some places specifically? That answer I really got from this particular thing. That they were purified by some souls. That's why probably we have built those temples there. Okay? And every temple has their own frequencies. So you just step on the temple and you can feel the vibe, or you enter the Centum Sectorum, then also you can feel the vibe. Or else you can just feel the vibe just entering into that vicinity. So the frequency of you and the frequency of that place might change based on the locations. So this is another line. When this girl Meenakshi sees, she says, the experience brought such peace and comfort to my heart, and I hope all my desires have been put to rest at that point of time. Right? In this, why this particular line came, that same place, Meenakshi went and she was about to drown in the river, where she felt that Sita Ma is calling her back to herself. When Meenakshi returned to, like Soma went and grabbed Meenakshi to come back into the palace. When they were in the palace, Meenakshi described what kind of attire Sita Ma had worn, and the base of her sari got wet. When they reached back to the palace, they both can see that the attire that Suma had taken out for Sita Ma during that day was the same attire which Meenakshi had described, and that attire was wet at the bottom. So, if you really want, well, there was one quote by Shah Rukh Khan in that movie, Om Shanti Om. इतनी शिद्दत से मैंने तुम्हें पाने की कोशिश की है कि हर जर्रे ने मुझे तुमसे मिलाने की साजिश की है. That line goes brilliantly with this particular thing. So these were the two chapters whose summary I wanted to share. I am stopping the recording and I'll re-record the next part of it.